Well, good morning, everybody. Today we're going to be adding some new bees to our hive. Two different ways to get bees into your hive. One is by buying a container full of bees. That's what you'd see right here. Bees come in here. There's some food in that little hole in the top there. You pull them out and you stick them in your hive. Another way to get your bees and put them into the hive is through that little white box up there. That's called a nook. That's got 5 frames already in it. Those frames are going to give you some, you're going to have a queen already established in there. You're going to have some brood in there. You're going to have some pollen in there, and you're going to have some honey already drawn in there. So this morning what I'm doing is I'm going to be taking those 5 hives out, and I'm going to be putting those into the box in the bottom down there. I've already got some honey in some frames at the top there, so I'm going to be leaving that in there and just moving these guys down the bottom. I never come out to the hive without at least a couple tools. First one is my breaker bar. I carry other tools on me, but this has got a lot of useful pieces on it. Not sure when I open up that nook if they're going to be stuck in there and I'm going to have to pry them out, so brought that down. Obviously my bee suit. And then I also bring out with me my smoker, which is just a little can that I just throw a bunch of chips in there, get it started, get it going, so that if I have to, I can just keep them from getting a little too antsy. I'm also sitting right next to another hive, and that other hive is going to get rolling as well here while I'm working on this one. So last thing I'm going to do after I put them in there is I'm going to feed them all. I make a 2-to-1 solution in one of these containers, and this is just sugar water. I make it the night before so that it ends up being translucent by morning, and I know it's pretty well blended all the way through. So let's get to it. Don't expect these guys to be too antsy. It's just past dawn right now. Sun's just starting to peek over the hill. So as you can see here, we're just starting to get past dawn. Nice, beautiful, warm morning. And then this is the other hive that's sitting right next to the one that I'm working on. It's actually a flow hive. Everything's going well with that one. Things are looking good. Okay, so get my gloves on, and I usually don't wear gloves that are this thick to do this kind of stuff, but there's a lot of brand new bees and I just don't want to have an issue. Okay, so to begin with, we're going to keep our smoker going. Just get a little bit of smoke out here so this doesn't go out on you. You always got to keep an eye on your smoker. If that thing goes out, you may really regret not having it when you need it. When you get your nook, it comes with this little plug right here. You just pry it out the night before, let them go out and forage for the day, and now they know this is home. Now they'll know this is exactly home They'll just have to figure out it's just a little lower they want to go. Comes with this big rubber band on top of it. Carefully take it off, because if you smack it, they could anticipate that as someone attacking the hive. Last thing you want is a bunch of bees thinking you're attacking their hive. Also comes with some instructions on how to do this transaction. I did read those the other day. This thing also weighs a bit, so you want to be careful not to drop it. This shouldn't be stuck because there's nobody home right now. So we're just going to move it and sit it on top of something so it's not on the ground. I don't want to put a bunch of dirt on top of the other one. I'll take the queen extruder off. And I've already made a hole in here. I'm going to go ahead and reposition this so you guys can actually see. You know what? I'm not going to redo it. I think you guys can pretty much see what we're doing here. Nice and easy. We don't want them to think that we're attacking the hive, because we're not. But we want to make sure that everybody's nice and calm in there. We are going to do some travel because I want you guys to see this. See where we start and where we end up. So bear with me as we come in for a closer look at the Nuc. Okay, so as you can see, we've got 5 frames in there. You can see that it's an older Nuc. It's all glued together, so we're going to have to definitely break some of that free. That little box right there is where the queen was when they first got started. We'll have to pry that out so that we won't put it in the other one. And then in the other one, here's the hole that we've already created out of the 10 frames. There's 5 frames missing right there in the middle. So that will be the move that we're about to perpetrate with these guys. So hold on a second. We're going to go ahead and do this a little closer than what we were before, just so you guys can see all this stuff firsthand. I'll zoom out a little as well, just to make it easier for us to see, and do a quick trimming of the trees here so that we don't have all that stuff in our face. Okay. I'm going to flip this back out so I can see what you guys see. Now they put these things in here to make it easy to get into the boxes. I'm already getting visited by people looking to see what I'm doing and what I'm up to, because they're not used to their hive being touched. And I'm going to start at one end and work my way to the other. But first, I've already got the guards coming out. So we're going to go ahead and do a few puffs over here, because it would seem like they are going to be interested in me real quick. Okay. Now, I'll go ahead and hook this and bring them up. There you go. There's the first one. And as you can see, there's a good smattering of bees running around on that comb. And there's a bunch of the guard bees coming over to say, hey, what you doing with our comb? What's happening here? So I like to kind of go in a circle. Just kind of disorients where I am and where they think the problem is. It'll give me a little time to work with this stuff. Okay, let's get this second one rolling. Now I'm not a real fan of this box because it bends as you're pushing on it. But you can see all those nice healthy bees on that side, and they're building honey on this comb on the other side as well. And so just as they came out, I'm putting them back in my box. My box is a little tight, so we're going to adjust that. Kind of like that. Now everybody's getting excited, so we'll just take a deep breath, realizing that they should get excited. Something is doing something different with their hive. But that's why we've got, that's why we get our smoke, and we make sure our smoke is good and sturdy before we get going here. Now, I'm going to pull this comb full of honey out of here for right now, because I don't want it to be too tight when I go to do the rest of these. I want this to be quick and easy for them. Look how beautiful that is. Just a beautiful bunch of bees humming all over the place. And like I said before, I'm going to pull that box out of there, but I'm going to put this down before I do that. Because the queen could be walking around on this thing, and the last thing I want to do is drop her accidentally. There we go. Now that fell to the bottom here, and I got some bees in it, so I'm just going to leave it in the bottom. It can sit there. It's not going to hurt anything. Dang. See, now that almost fell over when it came free. And this is just full of honey. But like I said, that almost fell over when I did that just now. You know, what's funny is I don't know that I'll be able to get, and this is another frame just full of honey that I'm taking out. I may end up putting those in the top instead of in the bottom. And they had put a piece of material in here. I almost fell over too. And you can see this is just another frame full of honey that they're putting in. Nice heavy frame. And that was going to go in here at the end. I'm going to push them a little bit closer together, or this last frame's not going to go in there. And this is just a frame of a bunch of honey that I already had. I like to throw that in there so they've got extra food to work with. As you can see, that's just a nice full frame. It'll give them something to work with. A little bit more food for them. Okay, now that that is done, I'm just going to come back here and give them just a little bit more room. re-angle these just a little bit so it's not so tight. Now inside the box that's left here, I still got a whole bunch of bees sitting in here on the wall. So what we're going to do is we're going to leave the box out here, but we're going to turn it around because the hole in the box is on this side over here. And we're going to turn that around so that they can come back over to the box itself. And then just a little bit of a blow on the top of it to get those bees so that they're flat at least, not all bunched up. Let's calm them all back down a little bit here. Don't need everybody to be all upset, at least not with me. Now I'm starting to get starting to get some of the bees behind me interested in what we're doing. So I sprayed a little back there too. Watch out how much of that you put in the air. Okay, so now comes their box for all the honey. Now I did put I did put a bunch of just brand new frames in here, but now this other frame that I didn't keep in there, this honey frame, that's going to come out and go back in here at this point. We're just cleaning it up a little. But so this frame here, it's got a lot of good wax on it, and it's got honey up here in the corner, and that's going to come in here, so they've got something to work with. Okay, moving right along. Now on top of this one, I'm going to put a feeder, and this feeder is got little holes in it, so the bees can walk up in there into the little corners and the cracks. You see how you can see some light through there. Well, you can also crawl up in there and lick that sugar water that we're going to be putting in there. And this is just going to sit up here on the top of this one like this. You want to make sure it's level or pretty level so that you got what you need for keeping the bees happy. Then you're just going to grab your sugar water . Open it up here. Make sure it's all diluted, one consistency. And then we're just going to pour it right in. Now I can tell just by the way I'm pouring it in that I'm lopsided. So I'm going to have to address the fact that it's not level, which I'll do that in just a minute. Oh, shoot. I've been sitting this over on that old white thing that I got the bees in. Then I realized it was getting sticky. I thought maybe I had some honey on the bottom of it. Well, I didn't realize it just now, but I'm melting. This is actually so hot that it's melting the top of that box. I usually sit it here on the stump, but I had some visitors, so I wasn't sitting it on the stump. Yep, live and learn, huh, guys? So, so that's all there is to adding a Nuc. After that, the top goes on like this, and we're done. Now, like I said, I've got a issue with the way it's leaning right now, so I'm going to have to address that. But I also wanted to bring your attention to the very front bottom of the hive here. Let me zoom into that so we can see what I'm talking about there. Hold on a second, I just knocked over my can. And start a forest fire. So if you look at the entrance to this, this is a brand new beehive, if you will. And if I zoom into the very entrance, you can see I have a stick in there. This is to limit, and they have different types of sticks, but this is to limit how the bees can get into the hive. I have it pushed all the way to one end, so this is the only spot they can come in. That makes it so that if we get robber bees or if we get hornets or something else coming in after them, they're not going to be able to attack and get a whole bunch of them in, and my bees can defend this little area a lot better than they can the whole thing. Think of the movie 300. Eventually, I'll be putting this one in there, and it will give them the ability to go in and have more of an opening. So once they're established, then this spot right here that's got this big of an opening, I can let that go. I could put this one in with this little notch right there open like that, but for right now, when I start, I like to put one in that can't be knocked out, because my dogs will come over and sniff it, cats may come over and play with it, and so this one is in pretty tight, and that's going to allow them to get in there and be able to defend it at the same time. There you go. One new up and running hive from a Nuc. Well, thanks for watching, guys. Hope you found this educational at the least. Rural Homesteaders out.